I still remember the sound my phone made that morning, one soft buzz that somehow split my entire world in two. 9:23 a.m. Family dinner tonight at the Grand Crest Hotel. 7 p.m. Dress nicely. Mom, for a long time, I just stared at the message. The words felt ordinary, harmless. But the place, the Grand Crest? That was my hotel. The one I'd spent sleepless nights rebuilding from the ashes. The one I'd bought when everyone said I was wasting my degree. And now, my family had just booked dinner there without the faintest idea that every wall, every chandelier, every inch of that place belonged to me. I laughed, quietly at first, the kind of laugh that hides a bruise. They still thought I worked at a hotel. Not owned it. Worked there like the girl at the front desk who takes orders and smiles on cue. They never asked what I actually did. They never wanted to know. My brother Noah, a surgeon. My sister Elise, a lawyer. And me? I was Lena, the one who didn't live up to her potential. They measured success by paychecks, job titles, and parking spots. So I learned to hide mine. I drove a simple car. Wore simple clothes. Let them believe what they wanted. When I bought the Grand Crest 11 months ago for $12.3 million, I told no one. Not because I wanted to keep secrets, but because I was tired of proving myself to people who had already decided I'd failed. 4 hotels. 3 states. A company worth more than $40 million. And still, I was just working in hospitality. That day, I called the general manager, Daniel, one of the few people who actually knew the truth. Daniel, I said, my family's having dinner in the presidential suite tonight. A pause. The family that doesn't know you own the hotel? Exactly. He exhaled. Understood. I'll make sure everything runs perfectly. By 6:45 that evening, I pulled into the underground garage, parking in the spot marked reserved owner. Funny thing, Noah had probably walked past that sign earlier and thought it belonged to some faceless investor. Someone powerful. Someone like the person he always wanted me to become. The hotel gleamed. Golden lights reflected off marble floors I'd chosen myself. Fresh lilies perfumed the lobby. It was everything I dreamed of building, and tonight, it would hold my family's assumptions like a mirror they couldn't escape. When I walked into the suite, their voices hit me first, laughter, bragging, the usual. Mom looked me over. Oh, Lena, that's what you're wearing? Nice to see you too, Mom. Noah grinned from the bar. Hey, little sister. Can you talk to whoever runs this place? It's hot in here. Maybe they'll listen to you. He winked like he was being charming. I smiled. The temperature feels fine to me. Maybe for you, he said, but some of us have standards. Dad laughed. This is what success looks like, sweetheart, he said, gesturing to the suite. Top floor, best view. That's what happens when you work hard, like your brother and sister. I just nodded. Right. Hard work. They talked through dinner the way they always did, loudly, proudly, as if silence might make them fade. Noah told stories about surgeries that sounded like war tales. Elise bragged about clients she'd crushed in court. Mom and Dad glowed with pride. No one asked me a single thing. Halfway through, Dad put down his wine glass and sighed. Lena, your mother and I are worried. You're 32. You can't spend your life running around hotels. It's time to think about real stability. Noah nodded. Yeah, hotel work's not a career. It's service. Elise added, it's not too late to start over, though. You're smart, just misguided. I smiled. You're right. I should have made better choices. They all nodded, satisfied, never noticing the storm quietly building in my chest. Then Dad gestured around the room. Look at this place. Beautiful, isn't it? Someone owns this. Someone smart enough to invest, to build real wealth. That could have been you, Lena. Could have been. The words hit harder than they should have. I'd built this room. The light, the art, the table we were eating at, I chose all of it. And still, to them, I was invisible. A knock at the door. Daniel entered with his usual calm. Good evening, everyone. I hope everything's to your liking. It's not, Noah said sharply. The temperature's wrong. And tell your staff to bring more champagne. Daniel's voice didn't waver. Of course, sir. But when our eyes met, he knew exactly what I was thinking. It was time. Mom turned to me. Lena, since you work here, can you make sure they cook the steaks properly? That word work landed like a pin through paper. Daniel cleared his throat. Actually, ma'am, there's been a misunderstanding. Everyone looked up. What kind of misunderstanding? Noah demanded. Daniel turned to me. Miss Torres, would you like to explain, or shall I? The room went silent. Every sound, the clink of glasses, the hum of the air system, vanished. I stood slowly. Noah, I said, when you snapped your fingers at that waiter earlier, you were disrespecting one of my employees. He frowned. Your employees? Yes, I said. Because I own the Grand Crest Hotel. The silence after that was thick enough to touch. Mom's fork clattered against her plate. Dad blinked, as if I'd spoken another language. You own it? Yes. I bought it 11 months ago. Paid $12.3 million. I own 4 hotels now. This suite, this dinner, this moment, all of it sits inside my investment portfolio. Noah's face drained of color. Elise looked at me like she was seeing a stranger. Dad's voice broke. Why didn't you tell us? I smiled softly. Because you never asked. You already decided who I was. You never looked closer. For the first time in years, no one interrupted me. No one corrected me. They just listened. I looked around the room, the suite that had once been a dream, now the stage for my quiet revenge. You spent years teaching me that worth was something you had to show. But I learned something better. Real success doesn't need an audience. It speaks for itself. I stood, pushing my chair back gently. Enjoy your stay. Dinner's on the house. And as I walked out into the hallway, their silence followed me, the sound of a family realizing they'd underestimated the wrong person. You know, sometimes the people closest to you are the ones who see you the least. So tell me, have you ever been underestimated by your own family? Because maybe, just maybe, that's where the fire starts.